Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving our praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone, and enough respect to the brothers that they're pushing and spreading the gospel of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, to the four corners of the world. Now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I just wanted to do a quick lesson on this article, two articles. They say the same thing, but I think it's very interesting because at this point in time, it seems that the narrative of the article is describing an event that is opposite of what prophecy dictates. Because prophecy dictates Russia, which is Gog and Magog in the book of Ezekiel 38, to grow strong and to have many allies of many nations from many different continents, and for them to come up against America and prevail. And then you're supposed to have, you're supposed to have Nato, right? Because that's what they're talking about, European Union and Nato. And then you're supposed to have European Union and Nato to come up against America and destroy America with thermonuclear missiles, right? And so, but we're seeing something different here. We're seeing the beast, which is NATO and EU, joining together with America, right? And they're coming up against Gog and Magog by, which Gog and Magog will be by themselves. And all this is to say that, right now, until the Lord has certain things, certain chess pieces put in place, the final battle that we read of in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, will not take place, right? Even if we see many clues that place to that factor, it will not happen until, for example, the trip comes to pass. And at the same time, even if we see things that are contrary to what prophecy dictates, rest assured that the will of the Lord will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? So in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, it talks about the downfall of the dragon, the old serpent, right? When he has been loosed a little while, which he is loose now, after he's been loose for a little season, he goes down by way of what? World War III. Scripture says, he shall go out to deceive nations. That's during while he's out for a little while. And Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sands of the sea. You can read about that in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. And you can read about the battle of Armageddon, okay, in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, right, the valley of Jehoshaphat. And pretty much all the prophets will tell you what the end result of it is, right? It's the thermonuclear missiles being shot out. And America will be made a desolate wilderness. And what? That's why it says here, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophets were, and shall be tormented day and night, forever and ever. All right? And so, this event does not happen until the Lord wills it, right? Let me bring out 2nd Ezra 37. It says, by measure has he measured the times, and by number has he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be filled. All right? So the Lord is determined to have certain things be put into place, right? Because even if, and that's the only reason this destruction is held back. When you read of the wisdom of Solomon, 11 and 21, I just want to make this real quick, so I'm going to jump off to the point. It says, for thou canst show thy great strength at all time when thou wilt, and who may withstand the power of thine arm, right? And so we're seeing the works of the Lord. No one really understand why, he chooses to let certain things happen. He chooses and to intervene at a certain point and to be still at some point. But we know that ultimately what is said in the scriptures will come to pass, right? The book of Isaiah talks about it. As let's see. All right. Isaiah 55 and 11 says, "For as the rain cometh down in snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which it pleased, that which I pleased, and it shall prosper in the thing whitherto I sent it," right? And so, when you see articles like this, Ben, it talks about how the United States President Donald Trump shifted his rhetoric about the war in Ukraine. So when you see these kind of things that seem to be contrary to prophecy, hey, don't hold your breath, man. Ain't nothing gonna come out of this, okay? So let's read a little bit of on the article. It says President Donald Trump saying he believes Ukraine can win back all of the territory Russia has taken since its invasion, although he gave no indication of how that will affect the U.S. policy. Trump made his comment in a post on his Truth Social platform soon after meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on the sideline of the United Nations General Assembly. He had previously said that both Kiev and Moscow would have to cede land to end the war, right? With time and patience and the financial support of Europe and its particular NATO, and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option, Trump said in his post, right? And so Zelensky has been pushing Trump to show more support. Let's go right now. It says Trump criticized Russia, saying that it had been fighting aimlessly in a war that a real military power would have won in less than a week. But he has not imposed tougher sanctions, and he and aides have seemed to indicate that Kiev must cede both Crimea and parts of eastern Ukraine to Russia in order to end the deadliest conflict in Europe in 80 years, right? So right now, one article said that Trump called Ukraine a paper tiger, right? They don't respect it anymore, but prophecy says that in the last days they will grow so powerful and have so many allies that they're gonna be like the sands of the sea, okay? And so let's see. Trump also dismissed Russia as a paper tiger, saying President Vladimir Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act. So the goal now is to take down Russia. And I tell you this, man, these men want to keep their kingdom. See, the words of the prophets have reached in their ears, and they're getting anxious. Now they're actually going against prophecy. But we know that no man can fight against the Most High, as we just read in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, right? The Lord can show his great strength at any time. And the only reason that the wicked, is able to make progress is because the Lord allows him to. But in the end, the Lord, the Most High, always prevails. All right. Yeah. So that's let me. have this here, which is some versions have it, some versions don't have it. But it's Second Ezra, the 74th, 7th chapter, 74th verse. Matter of fact, let me nah. It says, "For this reason, therefore, those who dwell on the earth shall be tormented, because though they had understanding, they committed iniquity, and though they received the commandment, they did not keep him. And though they obtained the law, they dealt deceitfully with what they received. What then, right, will they have to say in the judgment, or how will they answer in the last times? For how long the time is that the Most High has been patient with those who inhabited the world, and not for their sake, but because of the times which he has foreordained." All these news like this simply shows you that the Lord is long suffering. And when he finally breaks forth, people ain't gonna have no excuse, because the Lord gave them so many chances, day after day, and they mocked the Lord. But in the end, it is the Lord who will make fun of them, right? And the men of the Lord will be vindicated at that time. So, with that, I'm gonna close it by giving our praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh, Shalom Yahweh, Bahashem Shabrak. Thank to all your Akims and Akwifs that are listening in truth and in sincerity. May the blessing of blessing be upon the house. And until next time, Shalom.